Hey, what's happening? What's happening? It's Shawn, Wallace, your digital asset king, and I'm here with another video breaking down specifically on how we're generating passive income, leveraging digital assets. I'm excited to share this video with you because this one is definitely an important one, and that's our third component of the passive income moves, right? And that's learning on how to really drive, I like to say, fuel to the engine, right? We've been covering all three of those components, and I'll just jump right into it as we've been covering the elements of the three moves that it takes to really generate a passive income or even daily pay leveraging digital assets. So in this video, I just want to really break down and get into the third component where we talked about the vehicle, the product, and the services that are really needed from tapping into booming industries and so forth, and learning how to leverage digital products in those areas. And then we talked about the marketing engine that's really needed to help you create automation to free up your time, right? To give you buy your time back. I like to say get that freedom back from leveraging the automation, doing the heavy work. So once all those components are in place, the last one that is not but least is the fuel, right? So let me I thought I was on that. No biggie. We're going to actually just scroll down to it really quickly. But the last one is the fuel, right? So I'm going to share it with you how when you add fuel to your engine, right? You got the right fuel. That's what really drives it. It really makes it work for you. So that's what we're going to be covering today. So let me just pick right up there. And again, we were talking about the engine. So now we're going to be talking about the fuel, which is basically the traffic source, right? The visitors. And again, when I first got started, one of my biggest things I didn't really have was a budget. I didn't have a lot of money when it came to getting started initially, so I had to figure out what was the best ways of leveraging just myself and content, and really just getting you leveraging organic. And to this day, it still hasn't really changed. And I've learned, even from what I've shared with you too, is previously a way to where we can now leverage in just 2 hours a day. I know it might sound wild, and initially, just to be quite honest with you, I'm gonna share with you a 2-hour workday. But what's so interesting about this fueling piece is once you understand this step-by-step component, it's easy for you to really implement this 2-hour workday to earn a passive income, right? Monthly. And what's interesting is less is more. Once I started doing less in my business, I started actually earning more. Now, this 2-hour workday, it definitely requires you to have these elements in place for it to really work, right? But it's called leverage. That's what I love about automation, systems, and digital assets. Like once you have the right components in place, like I say, it's like focusing on the right IPAs, I like to call it, income producing activities. So what I want to share with you is how to master the 2-hour workday. That's what we call it, to drive the fuel from an organic standpoint. Okay, now if you have a budget, definitely start learning ads, but this isn't about ads because that pours more fuel to the fire, if that makes sense, right? So it's once you have this component down, and I don't know if I should, well, I can share it, but I remember one time I actually started off with ads, and either way, you're still going to get the same data. It's just a little bit faster, but the thing is I needed that budget to turn over because it was the only thing I had, and long story short is I paid a lot of money to figure out that I was in the wrong. I had my messaging. It helped me get the data, but my messaging was off. I was attracting the wrong people, so I had to shift. By the time I did get it right, I didn't have a budget to really continue to market it. So it was kind of like a failed opportunity or failed campaign, if you will. And I learned my lesson from that, and that's what I like about this here is you can kind of test your message with this 2-hour organically workday. I'm going to share that with you to help you still get the same feedback before putting your hard-earned dollars behind a marketing campaign. So I want to share with you, this is designed to help you maximize your productivity and income to focus on efficient time frame, right? So that way you can do that. That's what I want to be able to share with you how to do. And also what's going to do is show you on how to strategically prioritize the key activities, like again, I like to call them income producing activities, to help you consistently generate leads and invite them to take action without feeling overwhelmed. That's on both sides. That's you and for the leads coming in. Like I say, less is more, so keeping it less steps. So I want to share with you what that 2-hour workday actually looks like. So it really just consists of two things, and that's just marketing, right? But I want to share with you how to take these steps. The biggest thing is about how to work your schedule around your lifestyle. that's the cool thing about it. This doesn't even have to be done in 2 straight hours, right? This can be done periodically throughout the day, which is super cool. And it's just about knowing how to really frame the content that's going in these areas. So simply all you need to do is learn. And once I learned this though too, is really simplified, and it also keeps you in a where, like, again, you can still have that lifestyle. My biggest thing was lifestyle and building my lifestyle around my business versus my business around my I'm saying maybe I guess that works too. But instead of like being so in the business, right? So when you're posting on social media, it really only requires about 3 posts. This is a day, but it only requires about 30 minutes to an hour. And we share that with you inside of some of our strategies and things of that nature of how to really post these and turn these into free ads too as well, right? That's what I was sharing with you. You post these free ads, but it's really about posting this content. And it only takes you about, like I say, 30 minutes to an hour, because all you really need to do is cut bite-sized videos. What I like about in today's media, really, it's really just short, bite-sized videos, because the attention span out there is really short, if you will, especially in dealing with the scroll. So it's just about learning how to master the scroll, stopping the scroll, and getting people to hear a message. So these videos and content that you really need doesn't need to be long. We're talking, a minute to 2 minutes, 3 minutes max. No longer than 5 for sure. But at the time, that's really all you're really needing. So it's about understanding that right messaging, right? So that only requires about an hour a day. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn those into free ads, right? And post those free ads online. We have specific free ad sites that we can share with you, right? And it only takes copy. It's a copy and paste method once you have your messaging down. And that's just another 30 minutes that you can do. And again, this doesn't have to be straight 2 hours. This could be just periodically, something in the morning, maybe something in the afternoon, something in the evening, depending on what your schedule is looking like. But you can see here, if you can just get some block schedules in here in your time frame, it's easy to really plug in these activities once you know them. And then last but not least, and this is a big one for a lot of people, but it's just going live. People want to know that they're dealing with a real person. They want to be able to connect. It helps you build rapport. And it's the quickest way to actually really build that rapport online. It's actually going live for about 1 hour a day. And that's it, really. If you add those 3 things up, that's about 2 hours a day. But in that live, all you're really doing is saying the same thing that you're saying in your free ads, right? And in the content that you actually put out. But this way your followers and people that are following you and watching your content can actually engage with you live. And it gives you an opportunity to get them straight to your vehicle that we talked about earlier a lot faster. That's pretty much it. So also within those 2 hours, what you want to do is, if you're not, it's kind of a combination though too as well. You'll get into a flow, but the only thing left to do is really just follow up, right? In between those gaps, right? Once you find your gaps and you find your hot spots, really, it's just following up with the comments. People are going to be engaging with your content. Just about following up with those people, getting back in the comments, getting them back to the links and directing them back to your system, your automations. This is where the automations come into handy, because that's pretty much your work. If you really can see that's your work, is just staying consistent with content and really just following up with the people in the comments. When you give them the certain call to actions, we share with you on how to give a certain CTA in this social media content to get people to take action. And when they do that, you just you're going to point them right back to your system, your automations, and things of this nature. And then the same thing is respond to the emails. Once they're inside of your automations, it's just about responding to the emails, right, inside of the automations and things of this nature. So this is where the heavy lifting is done. This is what makes it super sweet to really master the 2-hour workday once everything is set in place. So that's why I just want to share with you how simple that really is. And here's Dean. He was able to, Don was able to make this happen following that same 2-hour workday. Once he was able to follow these methodology and start implementing this same principles, right, and being able to leverage it around a digital asset that he had access to, he was able to earn a significant amount of commissions within a pretty short period of time after just really applying himself, right? That's the biggest thing. It's about applying himself. So I just want to share that with you, and so you can see that anyone can get results regardless of if you have no experience prior to this or not.
And within my first 60 days of following his program, strategies, and blueprints, I was able to take my skill sets, what I do, and learn even as being an affiliate, which means I was just able to share what I was learning in real time as I was learning it. And I had accumulated $10,000 in revenue within my first 60 days of joining and becoming a student.
That's all it really requires, is just being a student to the game and understanding how to really apply yourself to the content. Really, it's pretty straightforward. It's really learning quickly. The main thing is about rapid implementation. That's what I like to say, is rapid implementation to quickly implement the step-by-step program, really, if you will, or the steps on how to, like I just shared with you, on the 2-hour workday of earning the passive income. Because once everything, again, is set up, your systems, you have the vehicle, the engine, the marketing systems, only thing left to do is, like I say, give it the right fuel. So it's just about rapid implementation to start getting the results that you seek. And that's what Phil did here too as well. He started earning cash flow, but once he understood the value within himself and what he had, that's where it made the biggest difference for him. So I just want to share with you on what his thought process was after he was able to start to see the results from implementing this same 2-hour workday.
The reason I would suggest for anybody to take advantage of this platform is because most of what's being done, you don't necessarily have to go through the 10, 12 years of training, spend the thousands on top of thousands of dollars that I've spent, that we've spent, and just learning the how on the deploy side. This has actually made it really easy for anyone who has any idea or anything valuable to give to the world. You've made it so that they pretty much can plug in their ideas, who they are, what they have, and set that out for them to be able to start earning passive cash flow just from the value that they put out.
That's what I really love. It's just all about the value that we put out and putting it in a position where anyone can really take advantage of it, right? So that's what I want to be able to give to you too. I want to ask for your permission to be able to share with you the same 3 moves, right? We just went over those 3 moves, but I want to share with you the same 3 moves on how you can effectively start to apply this right now in your life to understand on how to, number one, I like to say buy back your time, but more importantly, how do you buy back your time leveraging not just you, right? Just the automations that pull up the heavy lifting. So that's what I want to give you the opportunity to do that. I want you to be able to take advantage of the system. Right? Take advantage of the opportunity to apply the system. I think that's the biggest thing that I like to say about it is it's really a system. It's a process that anyone can really take advantage of, right? So that's why I want to give you the opportunity to be able to do. I'm going to leave a link here below. If that is something that you would like to do, is learn these 3 moves, right? Learn the 3 moves to create a passive income leveraging digital assets. Whether you have a vehicle or you need to implement a vehicle in place, understand the right engine, giving you the right components, right? I like to say the right components and the right moving parts, the automations to help you pick up all the heavy lifting, right? And then last but not least, once you have those 2 things in place, bringing all the pieces of the puzzle together, it's really just understand, like I say, how to put the right fuel on it. How do you start to put out the right content where you're attracting your perfect customer, right? The person who is looking for the exact solution that you were looking for. That's what I want to share with you. If you want to understand that, what we're doing right now is I have a pretty cool program, I feel, but it's just now launching. So I want to invite you into it, the master class, right, where we're sharing with you on how to actually leverage these same moves to leverage these digital assets. So what you want to do is just click the button right below this video. What you want to do is go ahead and apply, or just stick in your name, email, and phone number. It's going to ask you a few questions as well, but I'm going to share with you exactly on how you can come inside of our community, where we're actually sharing these moves. We're actually helping you apply them to help you actually get that result. And most importantly, like I say, just buying back that time. That was the biggest thing that I like to really took advantage of, if you will, that I wanted to be able to do was buy back my time, right? Because I felt like I needed to create more leverage, and this is the fastest way that I figured out how to do it was through these digital assets. So that's what I want to share with you. So go ahead and click that button right below. I'm going to also be bringing back some other testimonials and other individuals that we've been working with, just kind of give you some insight on what's been happening, a little bit more behind the scenes before we actually launch off our first masterclass. So with that being said, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Do that right now. Click the link right below this video. Go ahead and apply. Check out and see on how we can help you apply these same moves right now. Talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, what's happening? It's Shawn, Wallace. I want to say thank you for watching our last video of how to actually implement the 3 moves to passive income. We talked about on how to really drive the fuel, get the right organic traffic and generate the perfect customers to start wanting to deal with your business and products and services. So I'm super excited. If you got some value, make sure you subscribe and visit us at paywithshawn.com to start learning on how you can generate a passive income with digital assets. We'll talk to you soon. See you on the next one. Peace.